know it. It was getting better.
All right, stand by. Good afternoon, everybody. Oh, live video starting. Here we go. And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Facebook Live, the first Facebook Live of the Horse Hooky Handicapping podcast. Going to tell you about these three individuals here in a minute. The guy with the monkey shirt on, he's probably going to do most of the talking. I think it's only appropriate. I think that's only appropriate. Real quick, we're going to talk about horses. We're going to talk about what they're going to look at for the picks. We're not going to sit there and talk about slot machines. We're not going to talk about anything. We're going to keep it on topic. Feel free to chime in. These guys are looking at their phone. It might take them a second to answer some questions. They're going to go over all the races for tomorrow. And I'm going to start with the first question. Obviously, introduce yourselves to everybody, and then we'll get on with the program.
Well, I'm Jim Watkins, president of the Illinois HBPA, one of our sponsors. My vice president, Scotty Becker. We're both trainers here. And we have one of our top owners at FanDuel Sportsbook and Horse Racing, Jamie Gavilski. So I'm flanked by Jamie Gavilski, Scotty Becker. But I've been wanting to say this, Alex, coming to you live from the Secretariat Room at FanDuel Sportsbook and Horse Racing.
And it looks like we have one viewer.
One viewer. Pass the word. Look at this. Nice.
Oh, now we're up to three. Okay, good agrees can be like a telethon.
Well, they're calling. Well, we're a couple minutes late because we had to watch that race at Ellis Park. We're true horse enthusiasts, so
yes.
You know. And we were kind of interested in the race at Ellis. So we watched that one. So we're sorry for being a few minutes late. Alex, can I talk about a couple of upcoming events? I know Saturday night we have the permanently disabled jockey fund fundraiser. Mm-hmm. There'll be some events going on here.
Yep.
Those will be determined.
Autograph pictures of your favorite jockeys that we're going to be raising money for the PDJF. So yeah, and then anybody can donate also online as well. So
very good and an excellent cause. And what these guys do out here is dangerous. They're excellent athletes. How many jobs do you know where they're following you around with an ambulance? So it's certainly a difficult job. They're hard workers, and we want to help the ones that have been stricken.
Absolutely.
A week from tomorrow, we have Jareth Osborne. It's his day at the races. And Jareth is a 12-year-old that had, been struggling a little bit with some life challenges, but one of his goals is to be a jockey. And we decided we're going to make his dream come true to an extent. We're going to let him meet some jockeys. Jareth Loveberry has signed a whip and a picture form of two Phils. They have the same first name. That's why I reached out to Jareth Loveberry and let him sign a few things and meet a guy with the same first name and the same life profession that he wants. So we're looking forward to those two events this Saturday and then a week from tomorrow with the Jareth Osborne Day at the Races. So speaking for a day at the races, here we are live Monday, July 22nd.
Live from the Secretariat Room.
Live from the Secretariat Room.
Quick viewer question before we go on the air, and you three can answer it collectively and shortly, because we get a lot of feedback about weather conditions. Obviously, the last 2 Tuesdays, Mother Nature pretty much hosed us. What makes the decision, and how does that decision make if you guys are going to run? Because there are a lot of people thinking, it's one person that's forcing people to run, et cetera, et cetera. So why don't you just give us a quick overview on how you guys make that decision to run in these conditions?
Well, when we see some difficult weather, whether it be the high temperatures are extreme, a lot of rain, where the track is sloppy, I will be in contact as a horseman's representative with Melissa Helton, the general manager, and also the 3 stewards here that serve as our judges. We stay in contact. We also bring in the state vets when needed, when it's a hot day, and the track veterinarians as well. So we're all in consultation there. We went and talked to the riders. Melissa and I did before the first race, and I went out and met them after the first race on the real rainy day this past Tuesday. Talked to each one of the jockeys individually. They felt the track was a little bit on the hard side, but it was even, it was safe, there were no washouts. They felt pretty comfortable, and we continue to monitor the track condition then throughout the rest of the day. So it's all about safety of the riders and the horses.
No lightning at that point.
And there was no lightning that came through. So
that's awesome.
So we do constantly behind the scenes. You don't see it going on.
Right.
But the horsemen, management, stewards, and riders are monitoring the situation.
And horsemen do have the opportunity to scratch out with no penalty if they don't feel right about the conditions.
Yeah, whether it be the heat or the track.
No one is ever forced to run.
Correct. Because there's a lot of people that don't know the ins and outs of the business, and they think it's just one person and it's some big chair that's saying, oh, you guys have to run. And I said, no, it's a collective of everybody involved to make sure there's safety and everything else. First and foremost, owners, trainers, the vets and everybody else. So I just wanted you guys to explain that so that people know.
And it certainly is. It's a collaborative effort, a cooperative effort with all those involved and with what's best for the horses and the handlers and the riders.
Okay, I'll shut up now. Take it away, Mr. Monkey Shirt Guy.
All right, so what are we up to? About 300?
We actually have 17 viewers currently.
Nice.
So we're trucking there. We got some comments, which I'll read a little bit later after race 1.
Okay.
And off we go.
Well, we're here in part due and largely due to our sponsors. We have FanDuel Sportsbook and Horse Racing, Melissa Helton, the general manager, loans us Alex, and the secretariat room. The locally owned Taco Bell's, John Maroney. And those locally owned Taco Bells on this side of the river are Columbia, Waterloo, and Troy, Illinois. Many of them, he has many Taco Bells, John does, over in Missouri. And then the Illinois HBPA, we're horsemen helping horsemen down here. All righty.
We do have a question about the shirt, not to interrupt you. From a viewer, Jimmy Watkins Jr. chimes in with, who bought that shirt for the guy in the middle?
Well, I got to tell you, I'm a little challenged when it comes to ordering these shirts, and I see a lot of them on Facebook, and I've ordered some, can I say I've ordered from non-respectable, well, anyway, shady. So, yeah, shady places.
Clowns
So,
R Us?
if Clowns R Us was one of them, thank you, Scotty, for pointing that out. So I kind of turned it over to Cynthia, to my son, little Jimmy, and my daughter Lauren to, hey, check this site out, make sure it's legit. If it is, order me this shirt or that shirt, and then, so Jim Bro did order this shirt for
Okay.
me. But he didn't like the one he ordered for me that I wore last week, and neither did Cynthia. But you can't have
It's a conversation starter.
Yeah, I know we got the election coming up. You can't have 100% approval rating. It's just impossible.
All right, carry on.
All right, here we go. Well, let's jump into the races. Speaking of weather, it should be beautiful, mid-80s tomorrow. Track conditions should be perfect. We're looking for a nice day of racing, 7 races. Not terribly small fields like it was the last Tuesday. Some decent fields, some good races. I think it'll be a nice day of racing. If you don't have any plans, make some plans. Come on out here to FanDuel Sportsbook and Horse Racing. All right, race 1. And we got 3 here, by the way. This is the first time we've had 3. I just needed some additional emotional support since we were going live from the Secretariat room here at FanDuel. All right, race 1. Now, what is it? 2 races other than maiden claiming starter, our Illinois bred. Our now one is a 4 races. Our optional claiming of 10,000. We have a field of 6. And let's go with Scotty Becker to my left first. See Lee picked here. We'll go with Mr. Gavilski, and then I'll chime in last.
Okay, so I went on top with the number 4 full magazine. Had a little bit of a layoff. I like his form. For second, I went with my horse Wildwood Reuben, only because he had a big race last time. My rider said he's a monster on the slop, so maybe there's a little sloppy track tomorrow, and I bounced a little bit. So I put him second, and I put Eddie's other horse, Gold Smoke, closing in for third.
Very good. Very good. So you win, Scotty.
4-5-1.
4-5-1. Jamie Gavilski.
Pretty similar. I went with Scotty's horse on top, Wildwood Reuben. Hoping he doesn't bounce off that big race. Looks to be the best in this race. He's running against some older horses, but I think he's better. The four found something 3 back in that $4,000 race. They dropped him all the way down to 4, and he wins by 3 and kind of found something. Got on a little roll there. Got beat by the 6 last out, and then I thought that Eddie's other horse, Gold Smoke, kind of would pick up all the pieces and run third like he did in this spot last time. So I'm 5-4-1 here.
And I'm similar as well. I picked Scotty's horse on top, Wildwood Reuben. I believe Travis is being maybe a little conservative here. The horse did run off the screen on a fast track as well, Scotty. Horse has won 3 out of its last 4, all those with Travis Wales up. Horse has shown some real nice ability. I think he can handle this field. I went with the 6, Sonny's Not Funny, second. This horse was claimed for $62.50 down here late in the meet, and has really had a nice year. Has taken off with Don Bentler as the trainer. Juan Molina seems to be fitting the horse. So I threw that 6 in, just a sharp horse, winner of 3 out of 5 this year. And that's my exacta 5-6. I really like that exacta 2 as a play. I did throw full magazine, Scotty's top choice in. Goes back to Corey Orm. Corey Orm did win the 2 races on this horse. Only horse in for a tag in this spot for the 10,000. But I threw full magazine in third. So 5, 6-4 for Watkins here in race 1. And Jamie, what did you go with there?
541.
5-4-1. And Scotty, you were 4-5.
4-5-1, yes.
4-5-1.
And
Okay.
please, no one tell I didn't pick Steve Manley, or he probably won't buy me lunch no more.
Well,
So don't let him know anybody.
Once again, I've said this before in previous podcasts. You know, there's some trainers and riders that get mad when you do pick them. Oh, you're jinxing me, you're black catting me. And then others go, oh, well, you didn't pick me in that spot. And they get mad. And so it's one of those, you know, darn if you do, darn if you don't. You can't win. You know how that goes. So
Let me ask a question real quick in the group. So, and this is directed at Scotty.
Yes, sir.
Travis Wales. So as far as I've known him, he was always a gallop boy at Oaklawn. How'd you get him over here? Because I'm sure you're the guy that got him over here. He's riding for you pretty regularly.
Well, I have a friend down there that's an agent, Jay Theodore. And I told him, you know, we need some riders really at Fairmont to go if you know anybody. And he said, well, you might want to talk Travis. Can he come and ride for you? I said, well, yeah, I may put him on a lot, you know, and do that. And we spoke with him, and he said, you know, I go to Colorado in the summer, and
He's a
I've been
Arapaho.
Arapaho, and I've been leading rider there. So I go there in June. I could come for a month or so and ride. So I said, okay, we'll talk about it. Well, then it came out that Arapaho wasn't going to run until they didn't know when. So he decided, packed up and came right over.
Nice.
Try to talk a little bit louder because the screen.
And I heard that. I want to know if you
Yeah.
saw that, Alex.
Yep,
I just
I
saw
did.
that comment.
He's been a good addition to the Jock Colony for sure.
Sure, good veteran rider. He's a veteran of over 2,000 wins. He's rode a lot of places, so he fits in very well here. A good guy, and he's going to do well.
And you got to love, as I've said in the past, the patch of the horse player. We have a man out there rooting for the Lucky 7. Speaking loud, this is about as loud as I can speak. I'm pretty loud, Alex. You think we're okay?
Maybe I'll get a little closer. Maybe
All
we'll
right.
just kind of like
See what
tighten
we
up the
can do.
situation.
And we're trying to push through here our first time going live from the Secretariat. All right, race 2. Race 2 is at bottom level, 3,200 for Colts and Geldings, non-winners of 2 races this calendar year. I'll go first here, this race, guys. I picked number 5, Road Game, and this was an awful tough race for me to handicap. I had a tough time, but I ended up landing on the 5, Road Game, simply because he's 14 out of 19 in the money, 5, 4, and 5 out of 19 starts here at FanDuel. Pretty solid track record, a horse for the course. Durham is due to heat up with all these seconds and thirds, and I'll go into the standings after we make our selections for the second race. But I figured Road Game came back with Devil's Rule, some tactical speed. Found himself a little further back coming off the route race last time. Corey Orm stays up, so that's why I picked second. 5-4, and I threw Sir Corey in. Yeah, he's in the money a lot here. 9 thirds, 4 seconds, 3 wins from 26 starts. So I went 5, 4, 3. Jamie Gavilski.
So I went to the 4, Devil's Rule. If you look back at the last race, the horse is coming off a route, going to a sprint, and broke in the air, was way wide in the turn. I think if this horse has a clean break, probably lays a little closer than they did last time and gets the win here. Went to the 5 next, the Durham horse, Road Game. Gets Travis Wales, who we just talked about. I think, you know, this is a pretty even bunch. There's not a standout horse like the last race, I don't think. You know, 3,200 is the bottom here. This is 9-2 of 2024, so I mean these horses are all really familiar with each other. But like I said, I think if the 4 gets a clean break, lays a little closer this time, this tactical speed probably picks up the win here. I went 4, 5, and then I went to the 1. Read the transcript. Joel Zawitz. The horse is dropping big time. I'm not a big fan of huge droppers. This horse drops to the bottom level. Has run a couple times here at Fairmont, running a 3rd and a 4th. Finally probably finds its friends here. They ran that 62 non-winners of the year, that 62.50 non-winners of the year at FanDuel, and caught a pretty tough bunch of horses in D-Yank and Snoozer. But yeah, I'm 4-5-1 in this spot. How about you, Scotty?
Well, actually, I kind of reversed it a little bit. I did go with the 1. basis of his last 4 races, he was keeping pretty good company compared to usual. But looking back at last year's races for 3,200, it didn't look so good. But I just think today it might be a little easier. Maybe the horse is a little better this year. So I went with the 1 on top, Frank Reyes, if he comes in and rides. And then I went with Ralph Martinez, the 4 Devil's Roll for second. You know, I seen the race broke in the air, wide, sloppy track that day. I think he's very consistent to run second. And then in third, I got Road Game because I think there's enough speed in here to give him a little fit early. And he probably fades to third and holds on. So 1, 4, 5.
Scotty, Jamie and I have talked about this before. It's probably good. We have another trainer here. We can throw some things off of Alex. But I've often told Jamie that, a lot of times a poor break. We had a horse in yesterday going 5.5 on the turf, Frosted Eclair. She kind of got sawed off, a few jumps out of the gate. Because of that, she's further back than we wanted her to be. She had to move a little earlier than she would have, normally, if she's laying a little closer, we had to ask a little sooner. We end up giving more ground on that tight turf course up there. So I always say, like, you get sawed off early, get cut off early. That leads to a problem B, which could lead to problem C, which could lead to problem D. And that's why when you look at a trouble trip on the storyline there, that it really means something. It might say hot at the start, but it may have led to B, C, and D too. And a lot of people I know go back and watch the replays of the races. And I talked to him about that on occasion, but that's really important. Was it just A, or did A lead to some other issues in the race that really cost the horse a lot? And that's something to look at when you're handicapping there too. Hey, how about the standings? Let's look at the standings. We'll start with the trainer since Scotty's here, and I had Scotty's here and there. Scotty's on top, and boy, Ralphie's nipping at your heels like he always does,
Yeah, he beat me
especially
up the
early in
other
the
night.
year. Yeah. So Scotty Becker on top with 26 wins. Ralph Martinez, 25. Gerald Butler's hot as can be. He's got 16. A guy named Watkins with a monkey shirt has 12. And Harry Lynch is starting to heat up. He has 11. Now there's three notable trainers that are not in those top 5 that I want to make mention of. Eddie Essenprice, Mike Durham, and Steve Manley. We know those are 3 quality horsemen with established records. A lot of seconds and thirds. It's just a matter of time before we show up in here one Monday afternoon to talk about Tuesday's races, and we say, well, look at that, Eddie. Here's Eddie.
Yeah, he reeled
Here's
off two.
Manley.
Yeah.
One had a training triple. Here comes Durham. Those seconds and thirds are turning into wins. There's no question those 3 guys are going to have an
I think
impact.
so, yes.
We're roughly, what day are we, Scotty? We're getting close to halfway through. We got 65 days. What are we? This is day 29. So we're
Yeah.
getting close to the halfway mark, and you're going to see these guys in the second half of the meet, show
Full
up,
of
and they'll be hard to
conditions.
beat when they do, Scotty.
Yeah, full of conditions, ready to
Oh yeah, yep, no question. All right, the riders, as we mentioned last week, Alexander Mendezu is hurt, going to be out an extended period, whether that's 6 weeks or 12 weeks. We really don't know until you see how the healing process goes. When he starts getting back on top of a horse to get himself back in shape, how that, rehabilitation goes. He's on top. I don't think he'll be there for much longer. Before he comes back, he'll be passed by Travis Wales, who has 28 wins. Arrieta's heating up, 24. Victor Santiago, 22. The Magic, Juan Molina, with 17, and Corey Orn, 14. So we have some capable riders all putting together a lot of wins, and they're all going to benefit a little bit from Mendezu being out, and the bug girl Rachel Slavinsky deciding not to ride here and focusing on Hawthorne and Indiana. So these top 5 guys that are still out there clicking are going to be picking up a lot of
A
wins.
lot of opportunities.
We have a viewer question for Jamie, and the question is, can you explain what the term "find your friends" mean? And that comes from Jimmy Watkins Jr. when you use the term "find your friends."
So basically, that just means you found a group of horses that you're competitive with. A lot of times horses get placed in races where they're, for lack of a better term, over their heads. They're running 5th, 6th, 7th by 15, 20, 30 lengths. And it's not because they have a bad break or because they got squeaks. It's just they're not competitive at that level. When you drop down and you find your friends, that means that you found horses that you can compete with, So that's what that means.
There you go.
Handicapper's turn.
I'm telling you,
Nice.
love it.
All right, race 3 is a maiden allowance for 2-year-olds. You'll find some fillies in here and some colts and geldings. We've got one in here, Jamie Gavilski. Well, I'll let you start then. We've got the three. My buddy
Go ahead.
Brooks in here.
So-
I was saying you go third, Jim.
So I'll give the disclaimer that I do like my horse tomorrow. Trainer's really good. Second time
And
starters.
I'll read in between the lines. A really bad first time out.
Horrible
correct?
first time
Okay,
starters,
thank you.
which that's not that big of a deal. I mean, speaking as an owner, and you know the person who bought this horse is a yearling, and the investor, the major investor in it. You know, I look at it as a project. I just hope that the horse improves every time we put it on the track. You know, in the last 8 years, I've evolved and, you know, I want to win every race, but I know that these are young horses that they're learning every day, that some, you know, it's like growing up, you know, playing sports. Some kids are just better than others from 5 to 10, and then when you get to 11 years old, kind of everybody catches up, or somebody else matures and is better. Some 2-year-olds are better than other 2-year-olds, and you know they go to their 3-year-olds and their 4-year-old years, and they're monsters. I just look for these horses to improve every time you put them on the track and learn something. With that being said, I think it's the 4's turn to win, meaning this horse has really not done anything wrong. What would you say? That was probably the nastiest day we've had out here at Fairmont the last time these horses ran.
Very much.
To
And I was so
Four.
impressed. We had a full field of 10
Yeah.
2-year-olds, and they really handled it. They were so mature. There weren't any or many mishaps, and they handled the track. There were a couple of mine. Ours was real wide. Also, I think John Wainwright's horse got a little wide in there, but for the most part, boy, they dug in. They handled the slot. They handled the crowded area with each other, and they handled the gate situation. I was really proud of everybody involved, especially these 2-year-olds in that race where there were 10 in there and a crowded bunch, bad track. They showed their maturity at a young age.
Yep. So with that being said, I went with the 4 on top, followed by the 3. Our horse, I looked for our horse to take another step forward, was beaten a length and 3/4 last time for the whole thing. Hopefully she takes a step forward. Then I went to Maroney's horse, one of our sponsors, Steve Manley Training, Amazing Angie. Stay Thirsty, which is out of Bernardini. Stay Thirsty is the top California sire year in and year out. These guys have brought some horses over from California, dropping down in class from that race at Hawthorne where it was kind of over its head. Had a little trouble in the gate, but needless to say, I went 4-3-6 in this spot. These are the toughest races to handicap. 2-year-olds that are, you know, there's some horses that haven't started. They're young horses, boys and girls. I mean, it's just anything can happen. This is a good betting race. How about that?
Yeah, full field of 10 again.
Great betting race.
So you went 4-3-6 in there.
4-3-6.
Scotty?
Okay, so I'll start it off with, it was a very bad track when these ran last time. We thought it was bad, but these 2-year-olds skipped right along in it.
Yep.
We did have a little trouble at the start with a few of them. As you can look, you know, the 4 broke in the air. You know, you got a steady at the quarter. Manley's on the outside hesitated. The 8, Don's Martin, hesitated at the start. But moving forward, this is the 4th start for the number 4 of Harry Lynch's. It's done really nothing wrong. I picked it on top, and then Jim and Jamie, I went with you guys' horse second. I think, like you guys said, it's going to improve every start. I looked at that horse in the paddock. You know, he's got that eye. He looks like he's a young 2-year-old, a little mature. So I really think he's going to move forward with every start, just like you guys said. He looks good. I got him second. And then for third, I got the 9 Flash Cadillac of Steve Manley's. I've seen this horse work. I think that's why they made it the favorite the first time out. And it drew the 10 hole, which is not good, going 4.5. So today it has the 9. So it didn't give it much help. So if it breaks a little better, I think it's 4-3-9 is a good play for those 3 hitting the board.
Looks like they added blinkers to the 9 too.
Yes, they did, Jamie.
Well, let me comment about first-time starters. As you know, Dennis Pohl, one of my owners that Jamie's partners with, has got a lot of horses, but he's had some with Dean Wayne Lucas. So he and I have, you know, he's introduced me to D. Wayne Lucas, and I've had some good conversations with D. Wayne Lucas since then. And I thought one of the really good things that D. Wayne told me, I was telling him how I had 3 first-time starters running one day, and they got beat a total of, they all ran last, they got beat a total of 60-some lengths, and D. Wayne said, don't worry about it, Jim. First time out only matters if you're broke or trying to impress your girl. And so I thought that was kind of funny. Another great D. Wayne Lucas, who, by the way, is not just a famous Hall of Fame trainer with 26, world champions, but just an ambassador for the sport. And he was talking about times of races, and he said, time doesn't matter in a race, time only matters if you're in prison. So he's just a great storyteller, he's hilarious, but yes, my horses tend to take a step forward second time out, only because I'm so bad first time. And I don't know why, Scotty. I break him to a pony, I paddock school him, I work him plenty of times to take him to the gate, work him out of the gate. So I don't know.
Sometimes you just like to run them, see what they do, and then start your work from there.
And
that's how it goes.
This is my buddy Brooks. I got to tell you that and she's going to have some growing to do. She's going to mature physically, and but mentally, she was really telling me she was ready to run, Scotty. And I know you experienced that too sometimes, where horses will just tell you, "Hey, you put me in, I'm ready to go." The level of fitness was there, so I put her out there. And this was a kind of an odd race. When I watched it live, and maybe it was because of the weather, and then I looked at the chart. Then I had to go back and watch the rerun because it kind of surprised me in the way the chart read. This horse was 6 by 8, I believe, and only gets beat a length and 3/4. I knew she was running well at the end, but I didn't know she was making up kind of that much ground. I didn't know she was that far back. I knew she only got beat at, watching it live, just a couple lengths. So did we have a horse way in front that day? I don't really recall.
It's usually very hard to make up that kind of ground going 4.5 furlongs. You're running right into the turn on your left lead, and the horses aren't going to back up that much going that short.
Yes.
True story.
Do have a viewer question. Are we supposed to bet these picks or fade them?
Fade them.
I don't know what fade them means.
So that means, are we just making these selections to get money, money in? Or?
Well, I
stand by my
I won
picks.
4 out of 7 last week. You and Jimmy were bragging about 4 out of 7 the week
4 out of
before.
7, huh?
I won 4 out of 7. So, yeah, if you like money, bet them, I would say.
And then somebody says, it don't get any better than Jimbo Slice and Scotty Tahati.
Well, there you go.
Somebody named Logan?
Oh, probably. Oh, I know who Logan is.
Yep.
Jimbo Slice. I like that. I like that. Earlier today, I was on live with Steve Bick at the races on Sirius Satellite, and he actually brought up my buddy Brooks, who's in tomorrow. We were talking about the Excel acquisition of FanDuel here, and so he had me on, and we got talking about this horse, and he did point out that my buddy Brooks is out of Sister Stroll. I think it's Sister Stroll, and she was a stakes place, greatest stakes place, winner of 230-some thousand, I believe. And I told him that I thought we stole her down there for 7,000 at the Keeneland January sale of 2023. So she is well bred, and I picked her on top. So I went with my horse, my buddy Brooks, 3. Second place, the 4, Harry Lynch. This horse has been right there every time it's run. And then I thought it was Steve Manley, the 6 horse here. Yes, Steve Manley. This horse showed some real potential, a nice second, first time out. So much potential that he took the horse up to Hawthorne, tried it up there, didn't run terrible up there, but now he's back at Fairmount with Amazing Angie, the 6. So I went 3, my buddy Brooks, Cool Thing, the 4, and the 6, Manley's horse, Amazing Angie. 3, 4, 6 for me. All right. What about our sponsor, Scotty? Taco Bell. What do you like there at Taco Bell? As a crowd
Anything
goes
they're
on.
not out of when I go through the line.
Oh, you must be there late at night, I see.
After the races on Saturday night,
Yeah, that's true too.
it's about the only
I
thing.
was actually going to stop in the one here on my way home Saturday night, and the line was too long, so I just got it.
You're still
up.
stuck on the same tacos? Have you not expanded your
I
dining
have
operations?
not. I am a soft taco man. Yep. Taco Bell, locally owned, John Maroney. Thank you, John. FanDuel Sportsbook and Horse Racing. Thank you, Alex.
Yes, sir.
And the Illinois
HCPA.
HBPA. Thanks to us.
Yes.
Yeah, and our board members and our staff back there. Very good staff, very good board, and we try to do all we can for the horsemen back here. All right, race 4, race number 4. Let's look at this. I didn't get a program, so I have my tablet here. Non-winners of 2 races are optional claiming for non-winners of 2 races, a $10,000 tag if you so wish. Now, Scotty, why would you do that? And I just did it Saturday night, but why would you, if you could run it for no claiming, tell us why you'd run it for a claiming price in when you have that option, like this one here.
And this race here?
Yeah, this race here is an option. You could run it for non-winners of 2, 10,000, or you can run it for no claiming price, where they can't be claimed.
Well, it depends on what you thought of the horse. If you thought the horse is a real nice horse and you don't want to lose it for 10,000, you're not going to run it for 10. If you think it's so-so and you might save that allowance condition for later down the line, you're going to run it for 10,000.
That's it. Save the
That's what you
condition.
think he's worth.
And we just had one Saturday night. We went in for the 10. She'd run a couple of bad races over after we claimed her over where she was soundly beaten over in Kentucky at Churchill. So we put her in for the 10 and said, boy, if somebody's got that kind of guts, and she ran a pretty nice race.
And it depends if it's
Ran a
Illinois
nice
bred or
second.
open horse
That's
also.
true too.
what
So you would do it to save that allowance condition that you would go after later then and be able to protect the horse down the road later, correct, Scotty?
If you thought that horse might get better or not, you just have that option.
Very good.
Because every condition you lose it gets tougher.
Got that
Definitely
right.
gets tougher.
Well, Scotty, we're over there with you now. Let's keep you going here. See if you like it.
Okay, so in the 4th, I definitely went with probably this horse probably be 2 to 5 on the day. Probably the best bet of the day by looking on paper. It looks like he'll just gallop around the park tomorrow. That's the way I look at it. And the money it will make, they would still be able to run in the other than in Chicago, so I don't think they will lose a condition with this horse because the way they ride at 12,000 other than. So I put the 1 on top. Looks like Chris Amy coming down the ride. He's got another one in on the card that day, Devil Star. In second, I went with the number 5, Mr. Chivas, Steve Maley. They were second last time. I don't see any reason the horse shouldn't run where he did last time. Looks good. Had a couple nice work since he gave a little time off in between. Ran a 14 on a thorough manager last time, not a bad number. And in third, I went with the horse, first time out of the year, Running Water for Charlie Mullins. I watched this horse train a lot last year. He is a great horse, and I like the way the horse looks, and I think he'll run pretty big off the bench. So I went with 1-5-2.
And I'll jump in there because I went exactly the same. I went 1-5-2. I said the 1, Lundberg, Armando Hernandez, just looks much the best. And my only concern with Manley in the second spot, horse has been off a couple of months now, but a couple very solid works. And then the 2 from Charlie Mullins' barn, Running Water, an Indiana bred who showed some real potential last year as a 2-year-old. There's no reason not to think that horse won't continue to develop as a 3-year-old this year. So I went 1-5-2 as well. Jamie Gavilski?
Yeah, I went with the 1 as well. I've been following this horse since Oaklawn. The only concern to me is the horse has kind of backed up the last 3 out off the claim. Just progressively, second by a head, second by 3 1/4, fourth by 5 3/4. And I mean, Twirling Roses back at that Hawthorne race, that's a hard knocking older horse.
A lot of
But
speed,
a lot of speed, but definitely not in the same class as those allowance races that it ran at Oaklawn and that the non-2s that it was running at Oaklawn. I don't think that horse would be competitive there, and this horse was competitive. I guess, they're probably looking for that aha moment, basically trying to wake the horse up to get it a win, and like you said, they keep the condition for the 10,000. So the 1 looks so much the best in this spot. Like if this horse is anywhere around even money, 4 to 5, it's way worth the bet. It's probably the best bet of the day. Then I went to Mr. Chevis. I was going to pick Mr. Chevis until I saw this horse in. Unfortunately for Steve, he gets the 1 horse in the race against him, and then I went to the 2 Running Water, first time out, Lasix added. The barn always, their horses always run well. They're always right there. It's a small sample size, but their horses are always ready. So I'm exactly the same as you guys. I'm 1-5-2.
1-5-2. Scotty 1-5-2. Watkins 1-5-2. I'm gonna write. I'm gonna write yours down so Alex has them. Jamie,
Perfect.
Transpose yours over here later. All right, any questions? And how many people do we have out there?
Right now, there's currently 13 viewers.
We lost 4, we put 4 to sleep?
Yeah, it looks like. And somebody said their pick, Logan says his picks are 2-5-1.
2-5-1 in that race there?
Yes, yep.
Horsey picks his grandpa.
Yeah.
Yeah, inside
Logan's
information.
following along.
Yeah.
Boy, we need more. You know, Logan works for me, so I have Logan, I have my son, a couple of cousins on there, and nieces and nephews. And
You need more. We're down to 11.
Oh, boy.
We need some more.
And the hits just keep on coming, don't they?
But I think a lot of people also watch it on YouTube, so they're not necessarily in front of their computers at 3 o'clock.
Okay. Well, you mean some people are actually working at 3
Yeah.
o'clock? All right. Here we go. Race 5 is an Illinois restricted maiden race, and a maiden is non-winners lifetime for the fillies. And who'd you go with here, Scotty?
Okay, so in here, I went with number 5, Air Jerry, Steve Manley, Corey Arm, over the 10 Green Grace. Only because Steve Manley's bought me lunch a few more times than Ralphie.
He never
But
buys.
Ralphie's getting close. He bought the other day, so he's getting
Really?
close. So I picked the
Manly's
5 on top.
Manly's got deep pockets and short arms. He
Yeah.
can't reach down to get his money out.
Yeah, he's like Alan
Fish
from
hooks. Fish
2.5 Men. They call him
Oh,
Alan.
boy. And you've got him to buy it. Did you have to threaten him, or what do we do here?
No,
He's just coming to.
you go to the bathroom and come back.
Yeah, there you go. Right at the time the ticket comes out, huh,
Yeah.
the check? I see. Okay.
Anyway, I went with the 5 on top. He went up to Chicago. He did the horse bobbled a little bit and got kind of ran into. Run an even race after that. I think that horse would have run a lot better that day. She had run a good race before here. Second to the horse of Gaber Tanner's, who's come back and run, I think, second again
Yeah.
after winning that race here last week. Then I went with the 10. The only thing that's discounting this horse a little bit is maybe the 10 hole. If he's able to break well and get over and get good position, I think it'll be between those two. And I think the 6 will run a lot better race than it did last time of Eddie Essen Price, Huckleberry Hustle. I threw that in for 3rd. Balon's rode it every time, and he's back in. And 2 horses that finished in front of it last time, Green Grace, and there's a horse of mine, WW Grand Finale, very nice filly, full sister, brother to WW Hot Shot, very nice horse. So
Yeah.
I threw it in there because of those reasons. So 5, 10, 6.
5, 10, 6, and I'll jump in, Jamie, because I'm exactly the same. I have Air Jerry on top, Steve, a sharp horseman, even though he doesn't like to buy lunch, but a sharp horseman who thought it was time to go up north and take a shot up there for a little better purse with Air Jerry. And then I backed up the Air Jerry with the 10, Green Grace, a couple seconds, 3 times second in 7 starts, so always right there. And Huckleberry Hustle's been close to a 3rd and 3, 4, so always right there. 5, 10, 6. Once get a good betting race, big field. Get in there and get yourself a trifecta box or something. See what you can do. Jamie Gavilski, race 5.
Pretty much the same way. 5 on top. Manly finds a good draw here with the 5 post. I did like the 10 a little bit. I don't like the 10 post for the horse. And they switch riders. They go to Simpson because Bendazy's hurt. Bendazy was on the horse the last 2 out. Was on it 4 back when it ran 2nd. I don't like that switch, and I definitely don't like the post. So I run the 10 2nd, and then I went to the 6 3rd Huckleberry Hustle, Essen Price. Look for the horse to bounce back off that last start. Ran a nice 3rd 2 back against a similar bunch. So I'm the exact same. I went 5, 10, 6.
Yep. Once you get a big field, good betting opportunities. And I didn't point those out negatives of the 10 Green Grace, but
No.
certainly losing Bendazu, who's a leading rider, but you go to a capable rider.
Horse ran some nice
J.R.
races.
Simpson's shown up and won 5 already, so he's doing okay.
Yeah, he's
and
okay.
the outside post.
Horse ran some good races in Indiana before Ralph got the horse.
Mhm. Certainly, and the Illinois bred, so they brought it over here.
Yeah.
And Ralphie's
wouldn't
heating
you?
up too. Ralphie won another one, Spanish Dublin Saturday night. I think he won a couple Tuesday. So he's heating up. And then, like we said, nipping right at your heels. There's one behind you, Scotty.
Yeah, you remind me of that race the other night.
So, Alex, what are we down to? 4?
We're down to 13.
Oh, no,
We're
okay,
up to
well, we're up to
13.
13.
We're up to
We got
13, so that's not bad.
no questions or anything?
Somebody
No
has says
interaction?
race 5. They're saying 6:10:51 for race 5.
They're pretty close to us.
I
just
did with the
whooping.
1 for 4 degree.
Yeah.
Any consolation to that, Mr. Renard?
Any carryovers, Alex? I know that
Over 25,000. I want to say 25,400.
for the Slick Pick 7, nobody hit it last
Mm-hmm. Nope.
Tuesday on
No,
the short
sir.
field? Wow.
The exact amount is $25,424.
Boy, it's time with the big ballers that come out and
That's
start
right.
spending some money.
Yep.
People pooling their money together to bet that and hit that pick 7.
Yeah, that's
I
huge.
kind of thought, you know what, probably if the weather had been more accommodating, that shorter fields, I thought somebody was 13,000, I think then.
Yeah.
But it sounds like with 10,000 more pickup in 2 racing days, that there were some people investing some money in this.
Sure.
Yeah, 25. Yeah, 25,424.
That'd keep the feed companies away from us, wouldn't it, Scotty? If you and I team up and hit that, we
Sure.
could get the feed company and a few of our
Take a
vendors
little
off.
vacation in between?
Yeah, what's vacation?
Yeah, well, I'm just.
We're horse trainers, what's a vacay? Anyway, all right, hey, race 6 is a wide open allowance. And this is just short of a stakes race. Well, this kind of is a stakes race. And Jamie, we have one in there. I'm gonna start with you. We have Bureau, and we talked about finding your friends, getting to conditions. We're kind of out of conditions with Bureau. We ran him in an Illinois stakes race up there on May 26th after he won 2 allowance races down here early. The 3 other Dan came up. We didn't get beat badly. We lost to Kozan's Valentine and Scotty's Fast Jack. We were on the move. He leveled off a little late in that race. When he got into a little bit of a flow, he really came running 4th by 2 3/4. But that race didn't go again, so we all find ourselves in here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just short of what I'd consider a stakes race. I mean, these are some nice horses. Scotty's got 2 nice horses in here. Armando Hernandez brings 2 down from Chicago. And the horse that won our race last time, Kozan's Valentine, comes right back in here. Tough 6-horse field.
Yeah.
I'm hearing there might be some scratches, so it might be a real short field. But who'd you go with here, Jamie?
So, Kozan's Valentine, I think, is what the second choice of 5-2, our third choice behind Donato's Devil's Tower, which Devil's Tower looks like the best to me in the race. Although, Scotty's horse, Fast Jack, seems to love Fairmont. What is he at Fairmont, Scotty? He's 6 out of 8, 8 of 8 in the money. I liked that horse the first time I saw him on the track. Just such a nice horse. Devil's Tower, like I said, the 4, they're shipping down for a reason. I think they're in the same position that kind of everybody's in this bunch. This is the only spot that they can get to go for these horses. So they got to ship down. So I like the 4. A lot of people, the 1 Kozan's Valentine, to me, if you look at the form, the horse runs a huge one and then kind of runs a stinker. Off that layoff and off that win that it just ran, I look for this horse probably to bounce. So I threw the 1 completely out. I've got Scotty's other horse, WW Scout's Honor. No clue how this horse could be 8-1 on the morning line. Coming out of some of the races it comes out of at Oaklawn, those not one other than allowances those are the best 3- and 4-year-old races for boys in the country at that time, don't you think?
Very, very good.
I mean,
Very good.
you're catching some big time horses, and I mean that horse. You didn't take that horse out there, and it didn't embarrass you in those spots. I mean,
No, he was
ran
close.
ran some nice races against some very good horses that you're going to see down the road here. So I went with Scotty's other horse second, and then I went with our horse Bureau third. Bureau is like Scotty's horses that loves this racetrack. 11 out of 13 in the money, 4 winners. That's where I'm at on the race. So Fast Jack, the 3, Devil's Tower, Scout's Honor, and then Bureau to run 4th. So
You won.
3, 4, 5.
3, 4. He's throwing 4 picks. He's
I
picking
gotta
them
throw
all,
4.
Alex, he's picking them all, 4 out of 6.
If 3 scratch, I can't lose.
Yeah. Hey, Scotty, I want to ask you about this. So basically, when you see a non-winner, and I know this, by the way, but for our viewers out there, both now and later, so we see a non-winners other than. That's what the 1X means here. So that's an entry-level allowance. But I want you to speak to what they do at Oakland, because I know I ran a horse there in January, got lucky and won it. You were second right behind me and closing like a freight train.
Yeah.
But my horse had already won it out non-winners other than at Indiana in a nice big purse. But tell us how they do that down there so to make me still eligible for that spot.
Well, down there, they write the clause, I think it was this year, non-winners of 24,000 other
I believe
than.
that was it.
So, you know, you have that clause in Chicago, it's non-winners of 12,000 other than. Everywhere writes it different.
So you could have won an allowance race, but you didn't clear.
It didn't clear.
Over
That-
24,000, so you were
Correct,
still
you're
eligible
still
for
eligible.
what we would call entry-level allowance race
Correct,
at Oakland Park.
correct.
Okay. All right, who'd you go with here, Scotty?
Okay, so I'm just playing the numbers here, and the numbers say the 4 Devil's Tower. He's not done much wrong. Had a pretty solid year last year, very solid. He ran second to my horse WW Hotshot last time out. I think that horse is just, he's unbelievable right now. So I went with Devil's Tower on top. Second, I went with Fast Jack. I think he'll run good again, but I just think the 4 is better on paper. I'm just being realistic.
Yeah, winner of
about it.
nearly $500,000,
And-
$461,000 winner.
Yeah, he hasn't got the run for a little while. He got caught by Valentine last time at the wire, which I didn't think was gonna happen, but it did. So, and then third, I went with, I was gonna go with Cosen's Valentine. I'm looking at the numbers, but I'm gonna pick you guys' horse Bureau to pick it up for third. This horse, Valentine, he ran a big race last time out. He was in Chicago a couple weeks ago. They scratched him, which I don't know why. And he's coming back in this spot today. And I just picked him. I just picked him fourth. So
Okay.
I'm going 4, 3, 2, 1.
4, 3, 2, 1. You picked 4 out of 6 too. Well, heck,
Well,
I'm gonna pick 4 then. I'm picking 3. I'm going with Devil's Tower. Once again, this is a tough race. Some quality horses. If our horse Bureau gets it handed to him tomorrow, no embarrassment here with these tough horses. But Devil's Tower looks to be the best. I mean, this horse won a wide open stakes race at Delta Downs over the winter. Was placed again in at 50,000 at Prairie Meadows. It looks like they're just looking for a place to get a race to go for. And this is a nice spot. Chris Amy coming down to ride it. So I went 4, 3, 2. It looked like Fast Jack, third off the layoff, really woke up. It just got nipped at the wire by Cosen's Valentine, who just kind of, just blew up on us that day. Ran a big race off the shelf, off the long layoff. And then I threw Bureau in third. 4, 3, 2 for Watkins. Any questions from our live viewers?
We do have a comment. A lady by the name of Carrie says, doesn't have any questions, but she does enjoy watching the show. She has not missed an episode yet. She's a high school lunch lady who likes to watch the ponies run. So you have one person that's watched every episode of this podcast.
Very good. Carrie is.
Yes.
Carrie, thank you very much.
Thank you,
We
Carrie.
appreciate your support. We hope we've given you some guidance and some help, made you a little bit of money, provided you some good entertainment. And
Wardrobe tips, maybe? I mean, probably not.
clothing. I could use some clothing, yeah. I only do this from Memorial Day now through Labor Day, so there's not much, another month or so, and I'll be back to normal
You said she's a
wardrobe.
lunch lady, huh?
Yeah, she's a lunch
Wow.
lady.
What was your favorite lunch in school? I know you didn't miss any meals.
Well, thank you for pointing that out. No, nor did I. Yeah, you're correct. I did not. Well, I always liked when I was a student when they had the whenever the chocolate pudding was there. And sometimes that was good. I didn't give you much of it. I could eat a lot more, but I made
She's
up.
laughing hysterically right now.
So,
I think mine was the chili and peanut butter sandwich
Yeah.
day.
oh yeah.
That was mine.
Yeah.
I like the Jan Mazzetta. I
No,
didn't
it
miss any of
was,
those.
The macaroni and cheese was pretty
Yeah.
good. Those were from my teaching days. So and I actually was dean of students for 5 years. So I put on a lot of weight because I was in charge of the lunch hours. So I was out on the playground checking things out in the hallway, seeing who was clowning around. But I always made my way into. I was there all 4 lunch hours then.
Did you eat every time?
I sure did. And I got around the menu pretty good, top to bottom. And, I was just there for quality control, if you will,
Yes.
to test it for the students to make sure each and every item on the menu and that was being served was okay for them. And there you have it.
Yeah.
Hey, the last race. And now when this last race runs, I'm going to be packing up, heading to Prairie Meadows in Iowa. Scotty's going to let me go instead of him going. We have the National Summer Convention for the National HBPA, and I'll be there there's a little social tomorrow night, and then I'll be there all the way through the executive committee meeting on Saturday morning. But I know we'll be talking a lot about the federal lawsuit that's been going through with ISA. For those people out there, the federal government's come in and really participating in a lot of oversight of thoroughbred horse racing. It's been declared unconstitutional by one federal district. So I'll be getting a lot of information on where that's heading, we think. We do a lot of networking there. We do a lot of sharing of ideas that I'll be bringing back to Fairmount Park. And it's a good time. There's a lot of meetings. But I think I get to go to the Prairie Meadows horse races every night.
Nice.
So I'm going to try and find a handicapping podcast for Prairie Meadows and get some guidance there. Because that's not one of the tracks I follow. But I do follow FanDuel, and let's look at this 7th race. The 7th race, I know what I picked. I picked the 2 droppers. 7th race's non-winners of the year are 4 Life for the fillies and mares going 3/4 of a mile. Jamie Gavilski, where'd you land in
You
the
picked the 2
7th
droppers, huh?
Yeah, I sure did. Well, there's
Huh.
3 droppers in there.
Yeah,
but
the
I
4
picked 2 of
dropping.
them.
I actually like Ralph's horse a little bit on the rail. Speed horse on the rail. I love this bar. That mare's thrown some nice runners.
And another one, a
That's some
2-year-old
nice
winner,
speed.
first
Yeah,
asking.
first
2
asking
weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. So it
And
looks
Shelley and Eddie do a great job naming them too.
Yeah.
A little bit tipsy. I love this bar.
Yeah, where'd they
And
get
the
those bar
the mare's name is Bar Hoppin'.
Yeah.
So she has done a really nice job with some creative names there.
Looks like
Kind of
Ralph-
like Too Much Tuesday. You should have
Yeah.
had Too Much Tuesday with the mare Bar Hoppin'.
Yeah, looks like Ralphie's rounding. This horse is rounding into form. So I went with the 1 on top, followed by the dropper and the 4, John Wainwright, the Morgan Staple with Rainier Head Up. Had a nice work on July 13th here at FanDuel. Horse looks like it probably finds the right spot at the 3,200 non-winners or 4 Life level. And then I went to the 9 Tapacita. Again, told your son last time, this horse has broken my heart for the last 4 out. Looked like the horse was doing all right after it won that optional 12.5 9-3 Life, and then kind of faded. Now they drop it down to 3,200. I picked that horse to run 3rd, so I'm 1, 4, 9.
And I'm 4-3-1. I did go with the 2 droppers. Juliason, and that's it. And dropping from a wide open 4,000. I believe we claimed a horse out of that race.
We did.
They ran 4. She's in Thursday up at Hawthorne, a real hero. But that wasn't an easy race, so I
No,
know
sir.
that. The 3's dropping down from a 62.50. And Frank Randazzo's heating up. He had a couple of wins last week. And so I went 4-3. Looks like a real good exacta to me.
Mhm.
Ought to be a fair price. And then I threw I Love This Bar in 3rd. Scotty, where'd you end up racing?
I actually went a little bit different, and I'm not sure why. It seemed it's not a dropper. This race, it has dropped, is the number 9 Tapacita.
Mm-hmm.
I go back 4 races as 3 Life Allowance beats a horse of mine, Luxmead. I thought was a decent horse. Comes back in another than race. Dixie Penny, Awesome Birdie, Can 2. It's 5th by 7. Then comes back for a nickel, says Fractious Gate, 7th by 22. I threw that race out just because of those lines. And then last time, it run a very good, it run the best number of anybody in the race on Thorough Manager at 16, but it did run 3rd in a 4-horse field.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still going to go with it today with the 9 Tapacita.
You're going to give him another shot at
I'm
this.
going to give another
Okay.
shot with Victor Santiago right back. Then I went with Bethy, the dropper you guys were referring to, out of very tough races. which puts that horse on top probably. And then third, I went with Juliaison for third. Rainier gets the call in here, coming out of the same race, two back that Bethy run in, I believe, or was that a different race? There was a different race. They run the same lines just about in the race, both 5th by 6, 5th by 9, to a little bit tipsy and Life of Saturdays. So 9, 3, 4.
And I went 4-3-1. Jamie went 1-4-9. Let's talk about droppers, kind of on our exit out here. You know, as trainers, we know, owner Jamie, as you know, sometimes it just comes to time to drop. You know, golly, we're not getting it done at this level. Well, we need to take a step down. So that's one type of dropper you can look at it and say, well, it's just a natural happening. You know, the horse just isn't competing. Then you see some what handicappers call suspicious drops. Hey, this horse was doing okay for 10,000. Why are they dropping into 5? Then you want to look, well, they couldn't get a race to go, or is there something, the horse is tailing off in some way physically, and the trainer says, you know, it's time to drop him down to get some money out of him in a hurry. So there's your normal drops, and then there's sometimes your suspicious drops. So as a handicapper, you want to look at that. Speaking of those handicappers out here, we came live today, Alex, live from the Secretariat room here at FanDuel Sportsbook and Horse Racing.
And we have another viewer comment.
All right, let's
From
hear it.
Stephen, who says, Dean Wayne Lucas ain't gonna have nothing on you, Jimmy. You still got 25 years of stories.
Very well done, Stephen. Thank you very much. And I am stealing some of Dean Wayne's material.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Our sponsors, FanDuel Sportsbook and Horse Racing, locally owned Taco Bell's, and the Illinois HBPA. Stephen, thank you. Jimmy Jr., thank you. Carrie, thank you. Logan's out there watching, thank you. And we might do this again, go live, huh, Alex?
Why not?
I mean, I kind of like the interaction. Get the word out there.
Yeah.
That we're here to interact, we're here to engage the fans, and we're here to give you
Bring
some
the
winners. So
questions, bring the
any party
questions.
comments from the panel up here?
Yes, sir.
Alex, anything for us? 25,000 on the carryover.
25,000 on the carryovers. We peaked at, when you said we were gonna start the last race, we peaked at 19 viewers and now it dropped to 14. So I don't know if that has
Well,
any
you know,
correlation.
they probably are at work.
Yeah, they probably are at work.
Hopefully their boss came by and told them to get off the computer, maybe.
Yeah. And you just got a virtual applause from Carrie.
Carrie, thank you.
Yeah, on the lines. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people do. And MJ was watching. Look at that.
MJ
was watching live, it just says. He's watching now.
That's
Travis
Mark
Williams
Johnson?
is watching. Yes.
Mark Johnson. Let's talk about MJ as we close
Yes.
out again. MJ is our paddock judge, our clocker, our track man. He is one of the straws that stirs the drink around here. He just does it all.
Golf coach.
Golf coach.
Plays
yeah.
golf from the wrong side, though.
Plays golf. He's left-handed. He hits
Yeah.
it. But he hits
Hits
it
it
pretty
for-
well for a guy hitting it for the wrong side.
For an old
But
guy.
we have a golf tournament coming up. And we have the Jareth Osborne Day, a week from tomorrow, the permanently disabled jockeys
Saturday night.
fundraiser Saturday night. A lot of things happening out here at FanDuel Sportsbook and Horse Racing. The crowd Saturday night, a couple nights ago. Wow.
I want to elaborate on that for a minute. So, you know, a lot of people don't give us really the credit that I think sometimes we deserve. So I posted 3 pictures on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it from the crowd. And I said, not too bad of a crowd. I wish more media outlets would pick it up. That particular post got 25,000 views.
Really?
Yes. 10 reposts, 6 quotes, 83 likes, 2 bookmarks. A lot of people who've never been to this track could not believe how full this apron looked.
Elbow to elbow.
And elbow to elbow, and they're like, was it a special night? Were you doing give? No, this was the core product and the core audience that believes in what we do here. 25,000 views, and it's just pictures of the crowd. It's
And it's-
unbelievable.
and I'm
What
gonna
we
tell-
call a lower track, it's probably the most populated track between.
Scotty will tell you, we go to tracks.
And that's all they saw was just pictures of the crowd. That was
There's
it.
nobody at other tracks, so.
No.
A lot of people that, like I said, never been here, they said they haven't been here in a while, and they said, keep plugging away at it and build player-friendly wager menus. And of course, you know, hey, we can't wait for the casino to come in, congratulations, etc. And then somebody said, it looks like Yonkers from the 60s.
Yonkers, that's my favorite Hornets track.
That is a
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, so that's kind of cool to see the reference
That
on there.
is a
So,
crazy, crazy place. It's a freaking zoo there. I was there last year.
so that's just crazy to see a lot of people that have never been here and how this is just, and it's just simple, it's just pictures.
No better time to start than tomorrow. Come on out.
That's right.
Hey, there's Don Bidler. Look at Don Bidler. He's a legend in his own time. He's one of our trainers. He's not afraid to lay a wager down once in a while in addition to training small string of horses, so he will bet too. Alex, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you out there for our listeners. Pass the word, get the word out there.
And we'll do it live. Anytime you want to do it live, we'll do it live.
I kind of liked it. I thought it added to the program.
Yep.
Well, thank you very much, all of you. And once again, I got to say it, we're signing off live from the Secretariat Room here at FanDuel Sportsbook and Horse Racing.